Spending their way to success. Let's have a look. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your shine of coffee because it's all good. You know, everything is going to be all right. The economy, the world, everything is fantastic. And we can just look at New Zealand as an example because they have discovered the secret to fantastic economic times, and other countries are picking up on it as well. The NZ GDP has just skyrocketed 14%. What magic trick are they doing? How are they getting it to go? How is it working? Well, I think we all know. Massive amounts of government stimulus. Because we'll have a look at this in an article in the news which is discussing this fantastic success in NZ. So, you know, GDP, gross domestic product, provides a snapshot of the performance of the economy, apparently. GDP is New Zealand's official measure of economic growth. And we'll scroll down here and we'll see... Oh, there it is. So, key facts. The New Zealand economy increased by 14%. Now, did it really increase? Did it really increase? Shouldn't they take off all of the stimulus, the artificial stimulus that's juicing up the economy? You know, get a real measure of the economy. This is the problem with GDP and all these figures. You know, you could consider that perhaps they're used more for political purposes than anything else. You know, it's media, it's marketing. But then again, psychology is a big part of the economy. If you believe that the economy is good, if you believe, you know, and just repeat the message enough and enough, maybe the masses will start taking up on it and loosen those purse strings. So service industry rose 11.1%. Goods producing industries rose 26%. Primary industries were up 4.6%. GDP per capita rose 13.8%. Real gross national disposable income was up 13.9%. Annual GDP declined in the year to September by 2.2%. So over the year, they're still down. But look at that spike. Look at that spike. Well, of course, it's always going to happen when you get a huge fall like that. You're going to get a drive up. And the 14% will seem high when you only went down about, what, 11% last time? But, I mean, there you go. So we've got share of the economy, and we have, what is this? How do they do these ones? Primary industry, goods producing, and services. So, I mean, this is one thing to remember. NZ is more economically complex than Australia, guys. You know, you need to eat a bit of humble pie there. You know, they're more complex than we are. So let's have a look at this article here. New Zealand economy surges out of recession amid spending. They're spending their way to success. Billions of dollars stimulus was just thrown out there through different schemes and mechanisms, similar to every other country in the world. And what's happened every time throughout history when this type of thing has occurred? Well, eventually it falls over. The trick is, how long can you kick that can down the road? And can they kick that can further than most of our lifespans? That's the question for you. New Zealand's economy bounced back strongly from recession in the third quarter as massive fiscal and monetary stimulus sparked a recovery in consumer spending. See, here's the thing. The fiscal stimulus, the monetary stimulus, all of the government spending, which is spent by future burdens brought forward, that shouldn't be considered part of the economy. All the civil servants shouldn't really be considered part of the economy either. Sure, they're keeping it move around. Gross domestic product surged 14% for the second quarter, when it contracted a revised 11%, Statistics New Zealand said on Thursday. Economists forecast a 12.9% gain from a year earlier. The economy grew 0.4%, confounding the consensus forecast of a 1.8% decline. Well, that's the magic money printer going right there, everyone. New Zealanders have gone on a spending spree since the nation eliminated community transmission of the pandemic in May, and then successfully contained sporadic outbreaks. However, the border remains closed to foreigners, crippling the tourism industry, and many businesses have put investment and hiring plans on hold, which is projected to push the jobless rate higher in 2021. And there's the thing, this is what I wanted to bring up here. The jobless rate is still, the unemployment rate is still sitting at 5.3%. It's up 1.3% on the quarter. You've got 151,000 people unemployed in New Zealand. Look at that spike right there. Okay, they're climbing back up to 2008 GFC levels, and it remained at that level for quite some time. It's just slowly dragging that unemployment level down. So how can there be any discussion of the economy bouncing back? It's all BS, guys. It's just stimulus spending. That's all it is. It's money that's just been handed out to everyone. So of course people are going to spend it. Of course they're going to spend it. So then you get this artificial inflation of the GDP figures, so the politicians can pat themselves on the back and say, fantastic, look how good we've done. That's it. So fiscal and monetary stimulus have no doubt played a part, yeah, of course, in the speed of the economic they've played the entire part of the economy's rebound. That is the economy's rebound. You've got no international tourism, said Michael Gordon, senior economist at Westpac Banking Corp in Auckland. Today's stronger than expected results could move the dial on how much further support is needed. Oh, see, this is the thing. If you try and taper the support, wait to see what happens. Look at what happened in the US when they just tried to normalize rates. Do you think we're ever going to get normal interest rates again? I think the race is to see which one of the Western Commonwealth nations or ex-Commonwealth nations will hit negative rates. That's the question. Who will be the first? Gordon said that a stronger than expected economy aids the central bank's efforts to revive inflation, but this needs to be balanced against other developments such as the sharply higher New Zealand dollar. The currency has gained 5.3% in the past 3 months and was appreciating ahead of the rose released after Prime Minister Jacinta Ardern announced plans to offer COVID-19 vaccines to the entire population in the second half of 2021. The Kiwi dollar rose further after the GDP release brought 71.11 US cents in Wellington. The government's pursuit of an elimination strategy saw it impose one of the strictest lockdowns in the world, but allowed a quicker resumption of economic activity once the virus was stamped out. New Zealand has recorded 1,744 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and just 25 deaths. Just think about the economic damage that you've done. So you shut down the economy and you flooded it with all this fake money that future generations are going to have to pay. A fresh community outbreak in mid-August required a second 6-week lockdown in the largest city of Auckland, but the country has fared much better than many of its peers. Well, okay. Culturally and historically, UK may be a peer, but it's not. New Zealand has a population of 5.1 million. It's nothing like the UK. Okay, come on. The demographics are nothing like the UK. Just look at London. Try and maintain quarantine or civil obedience when a majority of the people can't even speak your bloody language. Okay, so this is pointless when they're comparing these things. But no, sorry, no, that's bad. You can't say things like that. Expecting people to learn the language that they immigrate to. What was my father doing when he came over here and taught himself English so he could work? Oh, wow, times have changed. The government pledged $62 billion of fiscal support to help revive domestic demand and protect jobs, while the central bank has slashed interest rates and embarked on quantitative easing and term lending programs to further drive down borrowing costs. Again, quantitative easing. And you wonder why everyone's jumping into crypto, why Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Still, the Reserve Bank and some economists have cautioned the economy may contract in the fourth quarter and even face a double-dip recession early next year, citing slower global growth and the possibility that the border will remain closed to many visitors until at least the second half of 2021. Third quarter expansion was driven by construction and service industries, in particular retailing, accommodation, restaurants, the statistics agency said. Manufacturing rose 17%, construction jumped 42%, household consumption 14.8%, led by cars, televisions, domestic travel, while imports gained 10.6% of GDP. So there we have it, everyone. So the take there, the economy is surging out of recession, but is it really? Or is just the money that was dumped, billions of dollars artificially injected into the economy, is just starting to flow through? And here's the thing, you've got to remember, guys, and here's a quote I'm going to bring up. The Candlon effect. It refers to the relative change refers to the change in relative prices resulting from a change in money supply. Maybe like a whole series of government stimulus injected into the economy. The change in relative prices occurs because the change in money supply has a specific injection point and therefore a specific flow path through the economy. Here in Australia, a big part of it is housing. Home builder is fueling that. fueling people to borrow money and to buy and to get into housing. Everything is about housing here in Australia. Our Kiwi cousins, they don't have it much better. Their housing is just as expensive as ours, if not worse in some areas. So there we have it, guys. New Zealand has the secret to economic recovery, at least according to the Keynesians. Just flood the economy with stimulus, and then people will spend it, and then you can say your GDP figures are up, even though unemployment is, well, at levels that we haven't seen in nearly a decade. Feel sorry for the Kiwis. Take care, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays or Teespring, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time.